I think for us, the biggest opportunity is really looking to see how the strategy around multi-purpose evolves. I mean, we're seeing a lot of new types of developments, we're seeing a lot of community builds, and I think that's exciting. And I think those of us that appreciate and understand the importance, not just from a revenue and profit perspective, i.e. allowing organizations to become accretive by using a diversification strategy, but what it's actually going to mean for the city, what it's going to look like, what it's going to feel like. And as we talk about urbanization and people wanting to live and work in the same place, I look at this as a great opportunity for the future, and I'm excited to see what comes next.
I think the opportunities for us over the next year or two will be continue to build our business, build our platform, invest in our existing assets and our people in Canada. And particularly the investment in our people is key, because it's our ability to attract, train, and retain the best people that will ultimately help us drive the best results for our investors.
I think after listening to everyone in the forum this morning, I think we feel it's steady she goes. I'm fairly positive that there's not going to be any big changes. Even with the geopolitical effects coming around the world, I think that we're in a pretty stable market. I don't see interest rates going up very far, if at all. And I think that we're going to have a pretty stable real estate market over the next 24 months.
Urban intensification has been the flavor of the last decade, and we continue to see that opportunity continue for many more years.
The best opportunities are probably continuing some of the programs that we've been engaged in over the last couple of years. Specifically, we've been investing increasingly internationally, so looking at opportunities in Europe and the US. We've been doing what we call a build-to-core strategy, where we're taking advantage of opportunities to build new buildings with the latest technology that best meet the tenants' needs. And then finally, I would say we're also doing a lot of work at looking at our existing portfolios and both opportunities to sell properties that are very fully valued, or else reinvent them, bring them back up to the standards that will attract and service the tenants best.
You know, it's always interesting to ask any question about where we think the opportunities are, because the opportunities come up in the least likely places. So I sort of feel like saying, well, the next 12 to 24 months, our most likely opportunity is actually what I think is least likely. But I would say there's something happening with underused real estate. I know everybody says it's in downtowns and stuff like that, but there's also amazing things going on with underutilized real estate, with transit in the suburbs, and it's really just a chance to recreate whole communities downtown and in populated suburbs. That's pretty exciting.
I think as a major service provider and solution provider to people who are investors and occupiers of space, the biggest opportunity for us over the next 12 to 18 months is to ensure that we have all the arrows in our quiver to make clients make those informed decisions, to help them make those decisions. So the biggest opportunity for us is to diversify, is to grow, and to make sure that we get beyond just being a world-class real estate broker and be a fully integrated real estate solution provider.
I think the greatest opportunities for us are to really stick to our knitting. We're focused in British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Ontario, but we're really focused in urban cities. So we're focused in Victoria, throughout Metro Vancouver. We're focused here in Toronto on the development side, and we're involved in purpose-built rental residential, for sale condominium, seniors lifestyle communities, and office and industrial. And for us, it's about sticking to our knitting in the areas that we do business in today.
Oxford in 2010 was a $15 billion business. Today it's a $45 billion business. Our plan for 2020, we say 20, 20, 20, and 2020. Will be $20 billion of equity, will be $20 billion of debt, will be $20 billion of third-party capital. So we'll be a $60 billion business by 2020. So the growth will have been from a $15 billion business in 2010 to a $60 billion business in 2020. Huge, huge growth, huge expansion, huge opportunities. And that is a business that was founded in Edmonton, Alberta 55 years ago. In 2010, it was 92% Canadian, 8% international. Today it's 55% Canadian, 45% international, with the lion's share of the business being in the UK and Paris, and the lion's share of the other offshore investment in the United States in basically Washington, Boston, and New York. And so much more international expansion between now and 2020. And as we unlock the future, will it be a $100 billion business? Beyond that, there's no question in my mind.